What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Arse. Let's get productive. So, it's been a little while, but I'm really excited to be back and to be talking music, talking gear, talking plugins with you guys. Now, today we're here to talk about a brand new plugin called Tight Arse. Yes, I know it sounds like tight ass, but I'm gonna just call it Tight Arse because I think it's really dope that my name is Arse and it's called Tight Arse. I'm not gonna think about it the other way, but I think that was a really clever play on words and it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's a plugin that was made by a really dope engineer by the name of Streaky. And this plugin was created to help you tame that low end sound and tame that bass in your tracks in an attempt to make our beats knock and hit as hard as they possibly can. Sometimes things can get a little muddy, and having something like this on your mix bus to help tame that muddiness and tame that punch is sought after, and it takes a bit of Streaky's overall mixing and engineering technique and it packs it into one plugin. So all you have to do is just dial the knobs in and adjust it to your liking. I've been using it for a little bit and I've gotta say it's a really dope plugin. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Streaky, Tight Arse, let's see what this thing is all about. As always, I have Logic queued up and this is Tight Arse. Now, right off the bat, you can see that this is a really clean UI, a really dope looking plugin. And I really appreciate that about plugins. I love when a plugin looks cool. I love when a plugin inspires me just off of the looks. It makes me want to create something. Even if you don't watch any walkthrough videos or read anything about it, it's pretty easy to just kind of mess around with the knobs and get a sound that you're going for. So, right over here, you have your tightness and your looseness knob, and that is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Once you start adjusting that tightness and that looseness knob, that's where you're really gonna start to tame your bass, and this thing really helps to kind of hone in on that sound, grab a hold of it, and really hold it at a certain position and keep it from overpowering the track and becoming too muddy just by playing around with this knob right here and turning it over to the tight, or you can turn it back over to loose and loosen that sound up a little bit. Over here, you can look at this knob as kind of like the makeup gain knob. It's where you're gonna be able to add more punch into your track after whatever you subtracted with the tight or loose knob. So for example, if you were to turn the tight knob back here, you can see here in the center display how much of that sound is being tamed. It's almost at -6. And you can go over here to the low end punch knob and turn that knob up and bring everything that was subtracted out using the tight and loose knob. You can bring it back to a neutral point at 0, but with extra punch. So this is how it sounds right now. We're almost at -6. And then I'm gonna just turn up this low end punch knob, and you're gonna see here in the center display, these blue lines are gonna slowly come back over to 0, but it's going to add an equal amount of punch back into the song. So now you have that sound back to a neutral position, but it subtracted the muddiness and it's adding punch back to the sound. So what you want to do is tighten the sound up as much as you desire and get that sound to sound exactly how you want it. And however much you've subtracted out, you want to add it back with punch. So you really want to use these two knobs together to get the perfect sound that you're going for. Now, right here in the center, this is your sonic enhancer button. It'll start off dark like this and you can turn it on. This thing has two different settings. So the first setting is going to get rid of any unwanted noise that builds up in your sound once you start using this plugin. And the second setting, which is my favorite setting, that is an overall sonic enhancer setting. And what that's going to do is just take your sound, take the overall tone of the song and enhance it. But it's a pretty dope and useful button. Right down here, you have your crossover, and that's where you'll be able to adjust what parts of the frequency spectrum that you want this plugin to take effect on. And right over here, you have your release fader, and you can have a fast release or a slow release. Now up top, this is where you have your auto punch. You can turn that button on and off. And what that does, you'll notice the A is orange, and that matches the punch knob over here, the same color. Basically, when this is activated, it takes control of the punch knob for you, so you don't have to pay too much attention to that. You can just adjust the tightness and the looseness knob, and it will compensate for the gain loss on its own without you adjusting the punch knob. And right over here, you have your gain match knob, and what this is gonna do is pretty much balance your output signal and match it with what was happening with your input signal. And that's really cool. You have your settings button right here. You can switch back and forth between dark mode and light mode, and you can adjust the decibel scale. You can switch to a 5 decibel scale or a 10, and that's pretty much it. A really straightforward plugin. This thing is just really cool at being something you can just throw onto your mix bus and get an overall tame sound. Let's play around with it a little bit so you can hear what this plugin truly sounds like. So let's start from scratch, actually. Let's reset everything. So we're gonna make the adjustments in real time. So check it out. And you can also hear the changes that happen when you mess around with the sonic enhancer button. So I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna turn it on, and you can hear how both settings sound. A bit more presence, a little bit fuller. So this is before. And this is after. So that was my review of Tight Arse by Streaky. Now I have to say, this plugin works in a lot of different ways. It's something I've been throwing on my mix bus after I add my limiters and all of the different things that I get to really glue the track together. Throwing this on at the end to really tame that sound and like really give it that extra oomph, that extra punch, but subtracting some of the muddiness that starts to build up, especially when you use things like compressors and all of that, because it compresses the sound, but it also raises those lower frequencies, and that stuff in your overall mix can start to build up over time and really give you a muddy sound that if you're making beats in your room, you may not notice it because of the acoustics in your room. But once you take it to your car, or you play it on some real speakers, you can really start to hear how that muddiness builds up. This thing really tames that sound, and I'm loving how this thing sounds. I also use it on individual tracks. So like sometimes on my drum bus, I'll use it on that, or I'll just use it on a kick that may have a little bit too much going on in the kick, or just use it on a bass that may rumble a little bit too much, and I just want to tame that. This is a really great plugin for all of those things. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is this something you could see yourself adding to your arsenal? As always, leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's any new plugins that you'd like to see me bring to the channel. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can stay notified anytime I drop a new video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.